Hey guys, Virgin Vinyl with you again today. Today I've got something really cool that I picked up recently, and it's from one of my all-time musical heroes, and that is Chick Corea Electric Band. I managed to get a second-hand copy of this, an original copy. Pressing is an Israeli pressing from 1986. Is that when the album came out, 1986? I thought this was earlier than that. When was this released? Actually, I should have checked that. I always thought this was earlier in the 80s. Maybe not. 1986 GRP. Okay, well there you go. Obviously I didn't get into this in 1986. I was only 7 years old at that time. But, I gotta show you this. This has got to be, this picture on the back has got to be like the ultimate 80s. Like when people think about kind of like the worst things of the 80s, fashion-wise and image-wise, I think you can't go past Chick there with the guitar, rocking this like spacesuit, space karate outfit or whatever the fuck it's meant to be. Look at him, just absolutely killing it there on that thing, on the KX5, Yamaha KX5. This album, really is like if you were gonna sort of dream like an 80s jazz soundtrack, it would be something like this. It's got sort of all the cliches, that the keyboards, Chick's keyboards sound like what that picture looks like, except and the drums, there's plenty of sort of the, like, I'm not sure which electronic drums he would have been using at that period of time. I guess like Simmons or something like that, I'm not sure, but Mr. Dave Weckl, who is one of the, incredible, one of the many incredible musicians that Chick Corea has unearthed over his, many years. So I think he was playing, he was playing some sort of electronic drums mixed in with the acoustic drums. Of course, this is also the debut of Mr. John Patitucci, who was a huge bass influence for me growing up as well. Absolutely was mesmerized. Well, I remember when I got this album, I think I would have been, it would have been like early 20s, maybe 21, I think. And I was really playing I was playing in a lot of bands at the time. Well, I had my band and I was playing with a lot of people at the time, sitting in and stuff. And John was one of the main influences that I had at the time. I was just mesmerized by when I first heard "Got a Match," and I was like, "Whoa! I didn't know you could play lines like that on the bass." But really, this whole thing, the interaction of the rhythm section with Chick's comping and Chick's soloing is just off the scale. And Chick is like the master of comping. Like when somebody's taking a solo, like John, for example, John Patitucci, Chick is not just there like holding down the chords. He's like accenting the solo all over the place, and the solo becomes like its own piece of music, almost like a composed piece of music, but composed in real time. It's really, that's what the best jazz guys can do, and Chick is one of the best jazz guys for sure. And as this channel progresses, you're going to see more and more albums from Chick and his related bands, because I'm a huge fan. Of course, also we get introduced to Screech from Saved by the Bell. Scott Henderson. I don't know if anybody's seen videos of them playing at that time, but Scott Henderson had a very Screech look about him. with his Hawaiian shirt and sort of Jufro style haircut. But man, what a great guitarist. I love Scott Henderson. He's a great guitarist, and he does a great job on on the song King Cockroach. Um, Famously, he didn't gel very well with Chick on tour. Chick is a Scientologist. It's one of the things that I'm not so crazy about him. But it doesn't. It's not like he ever was preaching it or pushing it down the public's throat. But I think he wanted his band to be quite serious, like on the road. And Scott was a young stud looking to have fun and get laid and get drunk and party and have a good time, and that didn't sit too well with Chick apparently. So those two butted heads, and that relationship didn't go very far. And in a way, I guess it's like all for the best, because Scott went on to form Tribal Tech, which is great. Also another great band from the 80s and into the 90s. And also it gave us the mighty Frank Gambale joining the band on subsequent albums, and he's also one of the greatest and amazing guitarists ever. So, and also you've got the incredible Carlos Rios on here, who does a fantastic job on Sidewalk, Cool Weasel Boogie, and Electric City. He's also a really fantastic guitarist, and he's also been on a bunch of great albums, and definitely somebody that you should keep your ears out for. This band was like, Chick had a desire to. He'd been doing some of his own stuff, and some, Chick was always busy, always had a project. He did tons of albums, always gigging, always doing something, and he decided that he wanted to put another Elektric band together, but this time doing stuff that was kind of different from Return to Forever. Like had a more sort of modern 80s sound with a different perspective. And so he formed this band, and he pulled these young guys, John Patitucci and Dave Weckl, in, and they formed this incredible trio. And with the guitarist sort of coming in for guest spots at that point, until eventually they brought in what's the saxophone player's name? I always forget his name. It's I'm telling you, I don't know. I must have brain damage or something, because I know this is a band I've been listening to since I was like I said, 20. I'm 45 now. Anyway, and they brought in Frank Gambale, of course, on guitar as well, and that sort of changed the whole dynamic of the band. And you got some great albums too. But this album is where it begins, and it's kind of like, I don't know. There's something like this album makes a real statement, I think. Like Rumble, when it opens with Rumble, that thing is just like the drums. It's like, who is this drummer? This is insane. And then when you got a match, it's like, who is this bass player? Like, who plays like that? This is incredible. And King Cockroach, like what an epic ending to a track that has. This thing is a great album, but it's also easy to make fun of because it's, look at it. It's like, it looks so cliche 80s, right? And it sounds very 80s. It sounds very GRP, the label. And, this would sort of kind of be the blueprint of, 80s jazz rock fusion going forward. And let's be honest, most of the stuff that kind of sounds like this, it's not that good. But this is great. And Chick Corea, for me, anything that Chick is involved in is always good, because the guy was just a musical genius. One of the forefathers of jazz rock fusion, of like free, what would you call it? Like avant-garde jazz, and one of the best composers in jazz, I think. His compositions are always so rich and technical and insane. Like when I think of composers, that it's like I sort of see him in the same kind of way as like a Frank Zappa, like someone who's just insanely prolific and who writes these insane complex arrangements and is constantly challenging his musicians, and also discovering and bringing new talented musicians into the music world and sort of launching them. And his bands have always been a launch pad for some of the greatest musicians of, you know, of the modern era, you know. And of course, like with, you know, Return to Forever, all those guys became legends, and these guys have all become jazz legends as well. And you can see why. It's a fantastic album. Anyway, I'm very happy to have it in my collection, even with Chick. I don't know, that just puts a fucking smile on my face whenever I take it out and I look at Chick on the back there. I just think, yeah, fuck yeah, Chick, rock that thing, baby. That's awesome. What a legend, man. I miss Chick. It sucks that he died. He was, you know, he was touring and writing music right up into the end, you know. What a legend. Just his whole life dedicated to music, and just prolific and playing with everybody, and out gigging everybody, even into his 70s, you know. What a fucking legend. Anyway, Chick, I love you. You're sorely missed. Rest in peace. Anyway, guys, that's it for today. Please hit that subscribe button if you like this shit. Please hit it. I've only got a few subs. I'm trying to grow this thing. Just a bit of fun, and hopefully I'm going to be coming with a new record for you every single day. All right, guys. Catch you later.